And they asked them some very interesting questions. Here's their findings. Then basically, when bosses behave badly, employees retaliate. It's the findings, right? And here's how they do it. 30% slowed down or purposely made errors. A third, almost. Versus 6% of those who didn't feel abused by their leaders. Okay? 27% purposely hid from the boss. They're hiding, 4% of those not abused. So even if you're not abused, a 4% do hide, whatever. 33%, a full third, confessed to not putting in maximum effort versus 9% of those not abused. 29% took sick time off even when they weren't sick versus 4% of those not abused. And a quarter of them, 25%, took more or longer breaks. I just got to get a break from this. Versus 7% of those who weren't abused. What do you think of that? What do you think the impact is in the church? Big time. Makes you want to run, doesn't it? The church is the hope of the world. Something's disconnected here. James Clifton, the CEO of Gallup, said this. One of the things you notice in Gallup research is that only 1 in 4 workers in the U.S. are engaged in the workplace, as we said. Imagine if you could get half the employees engaged. It's just unbelievable to me the potential that exists for companies. So let's put that into our context. Imagine if you could get half the church engaged. Because there's actually been church leaders who promote the Pareto principle. 20% of your people are going to do most of your work anyway. So just, and most churches it's 10% doing 90%. Right? Wrong answer. What if you could just get 50?